AI copilot, generative AI, LLM. I mean, you hear these terms thrown around everywhere, right? But how do they all actually fit together? Well, today we're going to pop the hood and really see how the raw power of AI technology gets turned into the smart tools that we're all starting to use every day. So let's just jump right in with a big question for today's explainer. What's the real difference between the AI technology itself and a helpful AI tool? Because, they're not the same thing at all. And understanding that difference, well, that's the key to unlocking the whole thing. Okay, to make this super clear, we're going to use one simple analogy for this whole explainer. Think of the raw tech, the generative AI and large language models, the LLMs. Think of that as the engine. It's got an incredible amount of power, but by itself, it's just raw horsepower, right? Now, the practical tools, things like copilots and assistants, those are the vehicle. That's the car you can actually get in and drive. So here's our game plan. First, we'll dive into that engine versus vehicle idea. Then we'll look inside the engine itself. After that, we'll see how you build the vehicle around it. We'll even take it for a few industrial test drives to see it in action. And finally, we'll take a look at the road ahead. All right, let's get to it. Part 1, inside the AI engine. It's time to get under the hood and really understand this core technology. So first up, we have the biggest category, generative AI. Now, this isn't the kind of AI that just analyzes a spreadsheet. No, this is AI that actually creates something totally new. It learns by studying just a mind-boggling amount of existing data, figures out the deep patterns, and then uses that knowledge to generate original content. We're talking images, music, and this is key for us, code and text. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit. A large language model, or an LLM, is a very specific kind of generative AI. You could say it's the engine model we're really focused on today. And its specialty is one thing and one thing only: language. It's been trained on these colossal data sets of text and code until it's become an absolute expert at understanding and generating human language. So what does this engine actually do? Well, you can boil it down to two main skills. First, it understands. It doesn't just see words on a page, it gets the context, the nuance, the grammar. And second, it generates. Based on that deep understanding, it can produce brand new text or code that's totally coherent and fits the situation perfectly. But here's something that is absolutely crucial to get. An LLM doesn't think like we do. It doesn't have feelings or consciousness. Its intelligence is all statistical. It's basically a master of probability, constantly calculating which word is most likely to come next based on everything it's learned. The results can feel like magic, but at the end of the day, it's just really, really advanced math. Okay, so now we get the engine, right? It's powerful, but all that raw power isn't very useful if you have no way to control it. So let's move on and see how we build the AI vehicle, how we turn that raw power into a tool you can actually use. And this really is the issue with just having the engine. A pure LLM has all this amazing power, but for you or me, there's no steering wheel, no gas pedal, not even a dashboard. It's just sitting there on the factory floor. It's really hard to use directly. You need an interface. You need the car. And that is exactly where the vehicle, the copilot, or the assistant comes into play. This user-friendly interface does 3 really critical jobs for you. First, it puts the LLM right inside the tools you already use. Second, it translates your simple, plain English request into the perfect, sophisticated prompt for the engine. And third, it can add special features, like giving the LLM permission to look at your company's private documents to get more context. Now, of course, not all vehicles are built the same. On one side, you have your general-purpose copilots, like for coding. They're amazing. They're trained on huge public code bases, and they're great at suggesting generic code. But on the other side, you have industrial assistants, and this is the real game changer. They combine the LLM's power with deep, specific knowledge. We're talking your company's own machine manuals, your internal error logs, that kind of stuff. Which brings us to the really fun part: industrial test drives. Let's buckle up and see how this combination of a powerful engine and a specialized vehicle actually solves real-world industrial problems. All right, for our first test drive, we're heading into the world of industrial automation. Let's talk about smart PLC programming. That's programming the little computers that run all the machines on a factory floor. So picture this: an engineer needs to write a really complex piece of code. Instead of spending hours doing it by hand, they just type a request in plain English, like create a function to monitor the temperature and shut down if it exceeds 200 degrees. The AI assistant, our vehicle, takes that, gives it to the LLM engine, and bam, it gets back perfectly written, fully documented code. The value here is just massive. You're saving huge amounts of time and cutting down on human error dramatically.
Okay, test drive number 2. Let's imagine a machine on the factory floor suddenly grinds to a halt. We need to figure out what's wrong, fast. Let's see how the system handles rapid error diagnosis.
I mean, this is a scenario that costs companies a fortune every year. A machine spits out some cryptic error code like E801. Instead of the operator having to dig through a 500-page paper manual, they just type that code into the industrial assistant. And because that assistant has been given access to the manual, it instantly comes back with a clear step-by-step action plan. The bottom line? Downtime gets minimized because that expert knowledge is delivered on the spot.
For our last test drive, let's look at something every single technician has to deal with: getting the right documentation for a job right when they need it. So imagine a technician is out on the floor and needs to perform a tricky repair. Instead of running back to a computer, they just use a voice command. They ask for the maintenance procedure. The assistant instantly pulls the right info from all the technical documents, formats it into a simple step-by-step guide, and displays it. The result is huge. You get consistency, you get safety, because everyone is following the exact same standard procedure created on the fly. So, after taking it for a spin with those test drives, let's kind of pull over for a second and think about our final section, the road ahead. What does this amazing combination of engine and vehicle really mean for the future? You know, this quote just nails it perfectly. The real magic isn't just having a powerful LLM engine. The true strength, especially for industry, is when you combine that amazing engine with a specialized vehicle, an interface that's custom-built with a company's unique machines, its specific processes, and its private data in mind. It's really about making expert knowledge available to everyone. And that really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. We know these AI engines are only going to get smarter and more powerful. So the real question becomes, what incredible new vehicles are we going to build next? What new problems will we solve when we can create a custom AI-powered tool for literally any industrial challenge we can think of? The road ahead is looking pretty exciting. Thanks for tuning into this explainer.